Say tricks.
Adios, amigo.
Listen, stranger. Did you get the idea? We don't like to see bad boys like you in town. Go get your mule. You let him get away from you?
You see, that's what I want to talk to you about. He's feeling real bad.
Huh?
My mule. You see, he got all riled up when you men fired those shots at his feet.
Hey, you making some kind of joke?
No. You see, I understand you men were just playing around, but the mule, he just doesn't get it. Of course, if you were to all apologize... I don't think it's nice, you laughing. You see, my mule don't like people laughing. It's the crazy idea you're laughing at him. Now, if you apologize like I know you're going to, I might convince him that you really didn't mean it.
The request for this build came from my daughter. She specifically asked me for a Lucky Pants build, but with no further directions. This build is my answer. I wanted every engagement to make me feel like a hip-firing Clint Eastwood from A Fistful of Dollars, but in space and with magic. For our cowboy space magic, we will be running Deadshot. Deadshot grants a golden gun with 6 shots. Any ignitions we trigger during the super will grant us an additional bullet, so we will be combining our super with Ember of Combustion, so that each kill we get with the golden gun will trigger the ignition that will grant us those bullets. Marksman dodge is a must, so that our dodge will reload our weapon, enabling us to get the most out of our Lucky Pants last word combo. You don't want to be stuck manually reloading with this setup. You'll miss out on a lot of damage that way. Gunpowder Gamble makes our solar kills charge up an improvised explosive. We need 6 total charges. Solar kills grant 1, ignition and scorch kills grant 3, ability kills grant 4, and our super grants 6. The improvised explosive will replace your grenade when it is ready. The explosive triggers an ignition upon being shot or after 3 seconds. So we basically get a free stick of dynamite for using our space magic. Whenever we get precision kills, we will be granted 1 stack of On Your Mark. Any allies within 15 meters will also receive 1 stack. On Your Mark can be stacked up to 3 times. Using your class ability will give you all 3 stacks at once. Each stack will boost our handling and reload speed by 15 points each. This was chosen to provide us buffs when our Lucky Pants luck runs out, and to give our non-hand cannon weapons some boosts. The grenade and melee are user's choice, but I chose the incendiary grenade and knife trick paired with Ember of Ashes. Ember of Ashes boosts all scorch stack applications by 50%. This means incendiary grenade will now apply 90 stacks and knife trick will apply 30 per knife, making for an easy ignition trigger when combined with our weapons. Ember of Char will make our ignition spread scorch and give us 10 points to discipline. Ember of Blistering will make our ignitions grant us grenade energy. Higher tier enemies grant more. And Ember of Resolve will make our grenades cure us for 60 HP for each kill. Our improvised explosive can also trigger this fragment. Our Lucky Pants are fitted with an illegally modded holster. Upon readying a hand cannon, this holster will grant plus 100 handling to ready speed, which means we will have the fastest hands in the system. The holster will also reduce our accuracy cone size by 30%, which is a fancy way of saying it reduces bloom. Or, in other words, our bullets will have a tighter grouping, allowing us to have an easier time landing our shots. Our holster will also boost our airborne effectiveness by 20 points. But the best part of the Lucky Pants is when we ready a fully loaded kinetic hand cannon or one of an element matching our subclass, each hit that we land within the next 5.5 seconds will increase our weapon damage by an additive 60%. This buff ramps up to a maximum boost of 600% after landing 10 shots. When the buff runs out, or if we swap weapons, Then our luck runs out and we will have to wait 10 seconds before we can trigger this effect again. There are a lot of great hand cannons to combine with our Lucky Pants, but none of them will give you a stronger yeehaw than the last word. This 225 RPM kinetic beauty is at its finest when fired from the hip. Hip-fired hits will grant us stacks of fanfire. Each stack will grant us +5 to reload speed and further increase our accuracy. You can obtain up to 4 stacks of fanfire, but all stacks will be lost upon reloading or aiming down sights. All hip-fired precision hits with this weapon deal 30% more damage. For legendary weapons, I ran Mindbender's Ambition and Avalanche. Both were chosen because they have incandescent to pair with our grenade and melee. However, the vast majority of your time with this build will be spent slapping the hammer on the last word, so feel free to pick your favorite incandescent weapons for these spots. For our stat spread, our first priority is high mobility because dodging is incredibly important with this build. We want to make sure that we have a dodge ready anytime that we activate illegally modded holster. Without our dodge, we will miss out on a lot of potential damage. Second, I prioritized discipline because I used grenades to heal since I had to sacrifice my recovery in order to have high resilience and mobility. On our helmet, we will have 1 Ashes to Assets to get super energy from our grenades, and then 1 Kinetic Siphon and 1 Harmonic Siphon so we generate orbs with our weapon kills. Or, if you prefer, you can double up on the Kinetic Siphon. Our arms will have 1 Momentum Transfer so our grenade damage gives us melee energy, and 1 Focusing Strike so our melees give us energy for our dodge. Then 1 kinetic loader so we always reload quicker even if we find ourselves in a situation with no buffs active. Our chest will have 2 optional harmonic reserve mods and 1 charged up for an additional stack of armor charge. Our legs will have 1 innervation so our orbs give us grenade energy, 1 recuperation for 70 HP on orb pickup, then 1 kinetic surge to boost our last word damage up even further because why not? Our class item will have 1 outreach so our class ability gives us melee energy. We are going to be dodging a lot, making powerful attraction and reaper potent additions to the build. Before heading into combat, you want to make sure your hand cannon is loaded and that your Lucky Pants are not on cooldown. When entering combat, try to close the gap between you and the enemy. I tried to have them at least as close as this guy. Once your target is within your comfort zone, trigger your illegally modded holster buff by swapping to your last word. If your last word is already readied, then you can activate the buff by briefly pulling out your ghost, which is faster than swapping to your energy weapon and then back to last word. Now start blasting and try to keep your target in the center of your screen as best as you can while only hip firing. It is important to never aim down sights with the last word. In the beginning, I aimed for center mass and treated headshots as a special treat when they happen. Eventually, you will get used to hip firing and the precision hits will get easier, but by no means are they necessary. What is necessary is landing your shots. As long as bullets are tagging the enemy somewhere, even if it is their pinky toe, then your last word will ramp up in damage so fast that precision becomes mostly irrelevant. As soon as you shoot all 8 shots from the last word, dodge to reload it and then resume shooting your target. If you time everything perfectly, you have just enough time to fire off all 16 rounds. If you are landing all of your shots, then the last 6 shots will be dealing 600% more damage per round. If they are precision hits, then they get a 30% boost from the last word, bringing the total boost up to 780%. Furthermore, with the 10% from our kinetic surge mod, the total damage boost comes up to 858%. Thanks for watching. Have a good one, y'all.